Esther, more seriously, there's an ugly cultural difference, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, between the pro-Palestinian protests and the pro-Israel ones, regardless of the cause back at, in the war ground. Here is the latest pro-Palestinian protest here, just this afternoon outside the office of the New South Wales Premier.
They come here and bring this community together in Greece after seeing thousands.
Now, but the ones, pro-Palestinian protests in Britain, I think, are actually far more intimidating. This one is in front of the office of your Labor leader, Keir Starmer, and this is what happened when prominent Conservative MP Michael Gove was dropped off near the Victorian station to catch a train, was spotted by pro-Palestinian protesters, forcing police to protect him. Have a look. Esther, what is going on? Why are those protests so much more aggressive than the pro-Israel ones?
Well, it's because, unfortunately, the pro-Palestinian protests have become a coalition between those who are genuinely concerned about the plight of the Palestinians and those who are just anti-Semitic and malicious and hateful and have no problem screaming hateful things on the streets of our capital. And it's really deeply unfortunate. I mean, if you look at the sort of pro-Israeli protests, they're more like vigils. You know, this is a nation that's been traumatized by the events of October the 7th, and they really just want to see peace in the region, however way people disagree on how to achieve that. But you have pro-Palestinian marches that are intimidating MPs. You know, we had basically a conscience vote in the Commons last week where they asked for a ceasefire, which obviously has no bearing on what the Israeli government chooses to do. It was just a symbolic vote. But you had people harassing MPs to the extent that MPs actually abstained from voting to have their views on the matter showed in one way or another. And it's really deeply unfortunate and concerning.
Wow.
I mentioned last week that Greta Thunberg's, congregation of the mentally unwell, where she talked about no climate justice on occupied land. And you're seeing elements of that ignorance and to a larger extent genuine malicious behaviour on a lot of pro-Palestinian protests. And it's so sad that London has effectively become the capital of anti-Israeli sentiment. I
know, it's just a vast demographic experiment that doesn't seem to be going too well, because it's the left also there, I know, but gee, it's a sign of force on the streets that I think would intimidate a lot of politicians, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, and I think this is what this has become a reality check for the country. You know, people are saying there's been a rise in hate and anti-Semitism. There hasn't been a rise. They're just people that are feeling emboldened enough to display their views, and it's kind of shaken Britain to the core, because it's made us realize actually we're living in a country with people that do not share our values, that hate this country, and it's a massive reality check. Obviously, the police has been not as helpful as they could have been. They've been seemingly quite biased in how they manage certain protests over others.
I know.
But really, this is a huge wake-up call for the country.
It's true. So true. Esther Kraku, thank you so much for your time.